What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls Postgame, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Don't hesitate. Do it now. Download their app. Be sure to use promo code CHGO when you follow me on Twitter. Wow. BAWL Sports. Wow. Mark K. MK Hoops on the Twitter machine. Our producer, Joey Spath, is rocking with us behind the scenes. We'll hear from our man, Gottlieb, from the UC later on in tonight's postgame. Bulls enter the All-Star break with their sixth consecutive loss. This one is to the Milwaukee Bucks. 112-100 is the final. Gentlemen, before we get into tonight's game, I feel like the first thing that we must do is acknowledge the tragic passing of the TNT Bulls. The streak was dormant for about 5 years because nobody wanted to watch the Bulls on TNT. But the Bulls playing at home on TNT streak that began nearly 10 years ago was brought back to life and swiftly killed tonight. I am sad. You guys stupid random streak as much as I do. I am sad about this, guys.
I'm not sad in any bit. Sorry, man. I'm at the funeral with you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just waiting for the repass when they put the food out. That's all I'm waiting on.
I could not care less about this stupid streak, Like I do not care. I'm just glad it's over because I never want to hear or see this hashtag TNT Bulls ever again. So not to rain on their parade, or not to dance on their grave here, so to speak. But rest in peace, TNT Bulls. Rest in peace.
I mean, I remember getting so jazzed up once people started to take note. And shout out to our guy Cody Westerland over at 670 The Score. I think he was the first one to know of Bulls winning all these TNT games. Shout out also to Jason Pat, aka Bulls J, over there doing cash considerations with our guy Ricky O. They have been big on the TNT Bulls for the entirety of this streak. And like when it got to the point where the Bulls had won like 10 of those in a row, and people started to take notice, every time the Bulls played home on TNT, people were stoked to see if the magic could keep happening, and it kept happening. And then the Bulls trade away Jimmy Butler. Shout out to Mark's guy, Jimmy. Once the Bulls traded away Jimmy and started rebuilding, they were like, okay, well, no TNT games for you. So the streak was dormant. Not dead, but dormant. It was basically, it's been sitting in a hospital on life support for the last 5 seasons.
We pulled the plug today. We pulled the plug.
Yeah, the plug has been pulled. It's very sad.
Mercifully. Yes.
I can't not point out that this streak started with a win over the Philadelphia 76ers on February 28th, 2013. So legit nearly 10 years ago, almost like to the week 10 years ago. In that victory, the kickstart the TNT Bulls streak, Joakim, 23, 21 boards, 11 blocks. There's your TNT streak right there. That's what started it. That Joakim magic started it all, baby.
Yeah, that Hakeem Olajuwon stat line. I remember that game very, very well. I also find it amazing that they haven't beat the Sixers since that day.
Hey, that's not true. We got a win over Philly. They just didn't have Joel that night.
Right. True. But also, I think TNT also knew about this, which is why they put them up against the Milwaukee Bucks. And they were like, yeah, let's go ahead and murder this. Like let's get this over with because we're tired of it too. So here you go. We'll do it on All-Star break when there are only 2 games left to watch. So everybody can watch the mercy killing that is going to happen to this team right now. So yeah, everybody was tuned in. Everybody kind of knew what was going to happen. But yeah, honestly, I'm with Marquet, man. I promise you, I didn't care.
Look, I don't know if I can say this now, but maybe I would have been feeling differently if it actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I probably would have been so annoyed had they won this game. Just especially based on how the season's gone, how they blew a lead last night, like they've been blowing leads all season. If they came out and beat the Bucks of all teams, who have won 11 straight and continued this stupid streak, that would have actually pissed me off rather than I don't even know if I would have been happy about it. I just would have been annoyed. So in this sense, I'm actually happy that it's over. I'm happy that we can just make fun of this nonsense rather than being annoyed that they would have won a game that they probably shouldn't have. Like they just haven't been able to do all season. So in some respects, I'm actually happy they lost tonight. So maybe that's why I'm in such a joyful mood. And it's tankathon season, baby, as you guys showed us yesterday. So let's keep heading down that path.
Yeah, I'm not with that part of it, but yeah, I'm with him. But I'm on the bus with him. Man, because he's going the same place I'm going. He's just dropping me off.
Right. Yeah. Seeing a lot of love for Dalen Terry in the comments. We will get to him and some of the other younger role guys who stepped up and got a chance for some more minutes tonight than usual. But I wanted to start off, gentlemen, getting your thoughts on the game that we had from Zach LaVine tonight, because he still is the face of this team. He is out there on a night when DeMar DeRozan is taking the night off with that strained thigh. And on a night when there's no DeMar, you expect more from Zach. That's just you are star caliber player, and when you need to show up the most is when your co-star is out. Zach was 5 of 16 tonight for 18 points, and more so than that, I felt like there were long stretches of tonight where Zach just kind of wandered through this game. Just looked like he was not in there, was not checked in mentally. He may have been on the court physically, but to me, it just looked like Zach just kind of coasted through this game. Like, clearly, he's not going to Utah for All-Star break. He's probably going somewhere warm and has been looking forward to it since this Bulls losing streak started. I did not like Zach LaVine tonight at all.
Go ahead, Marquette. You got it.
Yeah, I was gonna try to mount a defense for Zach, and particularly against this Bucks defense. It's very hard to be an on-ball guy against this Bucks defense and the way they treat the Bulls specifically. The fact that they just don't respect any Bulls shooter at all. So it would, from Zach's point of view, or even if DeMar was playing, like their ability to actually get in this game would have been hampered a lot based on how the Bucks defend. But that's my very coy defense of Zach LaVine. So I take your point. He didn't have a good game tonight, whether that's just because of the Bucks defense or, like you note, he just wasn't engaged or he just wasn't with it. Whatever the reasoning was, clearly inefficient game. Seemed like he was ready to take that All-Star break, as probably most people are at this point, myself included. But nonetheless, yeah, it wasn't a good Zach game. Back-to-backs, I don't know if he's still impacted by that at all, but yeah. There's not much not much positives here for Zach specifically, but more generally for the Bulls either.
Yeah, watching it, I think after the first quarter, I texted my friend. I was like, when Zach goes to the locker room, he's not going home. He's going straight to the airport after the locker room, and then going and laying on an island. Like, he's gone. Like, he was out of there from the first quarter. It was to the point that I found myself recording video of plays that he was doing on defense because it was frustrating the shit out of me. Like, there was one when it was 14-11 early in the first quarter. It was the first quarter. And there was a switch, and Patrick Williams got switched on to Grayson Allen. I'm sorry, he got switched on to Javon Carter, and Zach got switched on to Giannis. So obviously Pat is trying to deny the entry pass to Giannis. He's in Grayson Allen's face, he's denying the pass. He swings it out, which is exactly what's going to happen. Now, when you swing it out, the switch is supposed to come immediately from Zach and Patrick Williams. You watch Patrick Williams sitting there pointing at the guard, like, dude, go here. And Zach is still standing there with Giannis, and then walks over to Javon Carter. He just a little brisk jog. And when Javon Carter gets the ball back, wide open three because Zach's not there, Cash Money, Billy Donovan timeout. Oh my God. I did a Matt Peck, except I threw my sock at the TV. I didn't throw my hat. I threw my sock at the television. Like, what are you doing? Effort will always drive me crazy. It will always drive me crazy. I'm not tripping on him, Marquez, as far as the offense is concerned, because like you said, I know who he's playing against. You know what I mean? It's going to be tough going against the Bucks. But his effort defensively, I just need to see him try. And you can just see he was checked out from the very beginning. He did not want to be there. He was ready to go, man. There are 2 plays I got like that. I recorded. It just drove me crazy seeing him doing that. But then I was like, well, yeah, he's ready to go. He's ready to go to Turks and Caicos. He's up out of here. He's gone. He's finished.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got that play visualized in my head after you mentioned it. And initially, I wasn't sure which one you were referencing because there was a number of ones to maybe choose from. but then as you started describing it more, I'm like, yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Because as soon as Javon Carter hit that 3, it was just a prompt Billy timeout and the angry type of timeout. So I know exactly which one you're talking about in that first quarter. And to your point, like it started from the jump. Like this is the kind of effort we're getting early defensively. The Bucks had already hit like 2 or 3 threes at that point. They just sunk their 4th, and it's like, okay, this team isn't engaged. Clearly, let's just get to the off. It's not the off season. Well, maybe we should get to the off season, but Freudian slip. But let's get to the All-Star break at least.
Yes,
I'm good with off season, but let's just fast forward.
Me too.
Hit that fast forward button. My goodness. Once again tonight, gentlemen, of course, the Bulls lose the battle behind the 3-point line. No surprise there. The Bucks take a lot of threes, and tonight they took 47 of them. Down here, 53-point attempts for Milwaukee. They hit 18. That is a very respectable 38% on a very high volume. The Bulls, meanwhile, they did hit double digits. They made 10 of 32. So they got above that 30 number in their attempts, and they did hit 10 of them, although a couple of those 10, as far as makes, did come in garbage time when the Bulls had lost this game, made the final score a little bit more respectable. Just chalk it up next to all of the other games this season where you could take a look at the point disparity in the 3-point column of the box score and be like, oh, well, there's the L, because the Bulls lost the 3-point contest tonight to Milwaukee by 24 points. They lost by 12. They lost a 3-point edge by 24. I mean, Tony Bradley hit a corner 3 in garbage time. Yay. We could laugh about that. We could joke about that. But, Mike, you see that team launching all those threes. Some dude named A.J. Brown, who is not the A.J. Green, who is not the real A.J. Green, is out there hitting 5 of 7 from deep off the bench. Who the hell is this guy? I don't know, but he hit 5 threes for the Bucks off their bench.
Yo, that's real, Marquez. Like, listen, man. I mean, and it was easy for him because you know he's not that kind of player. He's clearly just, I'm a spot up shooter. This is what I'm here for. Oh, and this is the perfect team to do that against because the Bulls do not get out the shooters. All of his threes were wide open. The 2 he missed are ones where he tried to create his own. When he tried to do it himself, claim. The other ones, when it was just catch and shoot, he's just wide open, swish. Every single one of them, swish. It was easy. It was easy work for him. I swear. It was so easy.
The entire game, I was just thinking, I'm not even lying about this. I'm just thinking, Dave loves this guy. He would absolutely love this guy on the Bulls. Slow white guy who does nothing but just running across the 3-point line, run from 3-point line to 3-point line and just jack up threes. I know Big Dave is loving this.
No, I gotta see his heart, Marquez. Does he jump rope during timeouts on the bench? Like, I need to know these things. Does he do that? That's what makes him the legend. That's what makes me fall in love with him. He's got to do that shit.
maybe he does. Maybe he does. I'm not going to discredit the man and say he doesn't, but I'm just saying he's got the markings of a Matt Thomas 2.0, as old Bucker suggests here in the comments.
No, he's got a long way to go for he's the legend. He got a long way to go, man. A couple threes ain't going to get him there. Got a long way to go, sir.
Gonna have some fun with this, yeah. We're just gonna have some fun.
Matt's computer backing up. Yeah. Oh yeah, Matt Thomas in his DMs. Yes. Okay. Matt Thomas in the DMs, dog. That is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. You got family members coming at you.
Not the first time a family member from a Bulls player has gotten into my DM. Won't be the last. Won't be the last.
I love your response, man. Wait a minute. Did Big Dave tell you to do this? Oh,
man.
No,
this is
that
all we
was
can do,
awful.
right? We gotta
all
laugh
right,
it off.
plenty more to get to.
We gotta laugh it off.
Mhm.
We'll talk about Dalen coming up after the break, because I know Bulls fans are happy and looking for positive things to talk about, and Dalen certainly was a bright light tonight. So let's take our first quick break with them ad reads. Big Dave, while Big Dave is kicking us off, do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button if you're watching along with us on YouTube. Big Dave, who do we got first?
Well, I think we got some pins and aces, that golf apparel gear that's going to be fly up on you. You know, Will to go Gottlieb, you know, when he's out on the links, you know, because he's the best golfer on CHGO Bulls, whether he wants to accept this or not, it is the truth. And Pins and Aces is the official golf apparel partner of CHGO. And he loves that Pins and Aces gear. And he's going to get tons of compliments on it this summer as soon as he hits those links, because that's how it goes. They are a family-owned golf and apparel business. They make amazing polos, hats, golf bags, and, of course, their favorite, the Matt Peck beer sleeve, that innovative product that allows you to store 7 of them things right up inside your golf bag and keep them drinks frosty cold the entire round, or if you're a legend like Matt Peck, half the round. So check out pinsandaces.com. Use that code CHGO to receive 15% off your first order and get your beautiful self some free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com, because when you look good, you play good. And when you play good, it's all good.
That was beautiful, David. That was beautiful. Matt Peck's dropped off, and I've got a feeling this next ad was for him. I mean, we've got Green Ridge Farms coming up here. I'm not sure if he's on the call, but if he's not, I'm more than happy to take it for him.
Take it away.
Even though I am the vegetarian amongst us. Oh, there's the meat eater. Do you want to take him?
I'm back. I'm back. But you know what? I think I want to see Mark do some Green Ridge. Do you have the copy in front of you?
I've got the copy.
Go.
I was quick on my feet there. I saw you drop off. I'm like, I don't want to let our friends at Greenridge Farm down. But let me tell you, everyone tuning in, about our friends at Greenridge Farm, particularly if you happen to be a meat eater. So Greenridge Farm is Chicago's premier local meat and cheese company, offering you all the best and all natural options. So they are the makers of all natural deli meat sausages, and of course, they're famous, world famous meat sticks at this point, which are perfect for tailgating, perfect for happy hours, perfect for school lunches. If you happen to be listening to us, get a meat stick in your hand, put it in your gob, and chew that thing down, friends. Because those meat sticks, they are hardwood smoked for 8 hours, and they come packed with 16 grams of protein per stick, making them the perfect post-workout snack, but also the perfect post-game workout snack as well. So if you're into, chicken, your beef, your Black Forest beef, flavors like jalapeno cheddar, spicy chili, all that good stuff, our friends at Green Ridge Farm have you covered. So right now, when you are ordering any 3 meat products at greenridgefarm.com, include a meat packs in your order, and you will get those meat sticks for free simply by using code CHGO at checkout. Is that easy, friends? Get a free pack of meat sticks just by jumping on the website, greenridgefarm.com, using promo code CHGO, and get that meat into ya.
Well done. I love it.
Very well done.
Mark, I'm sure that you're less excited about your Chicago trip now as far as the Bulls aspect of that trip and having to watch this junk-ass team. Yeah. But you're gonna try some Green Ridge Farm meat sticks, and that's gonna make the trip worth it.
No, I'm not.
No. Force meat on him. What is wrong with you? What are you doing here?
There's no forcing. I just know that he's gonna want to try some because they're delicious.
So in other words, you're saying he can't be alone with you because he might get some meat sticks shoved down his gullet and he don't know it. I'm a little worried now.
This is why I got a hotel, not crushing at Matt Peck's house, because if I was crushing at his house during the evening, I'd be sweet asleep and he'd be entering the room with a meat stick, trying to just jam it down. And I'm sending all different types.
I got a 3 a.m. meat stick alarm, Mark, and I'm waking you up for it.
None of that sounds right.
That's my fault. That's my fault, guys.
Oh my goodness! All right, guys.
All-time break, baby.
Let's get to the player that everybody in the comments wants to talk about tonight, and that is the Bulls rookie Dalen Terry, getting the most minutes of his young NBA career by far, playing significant minutes off the bench tonight. Scored a NBA career high tonight. I believe, what did he finish with? 13 on 6 of 12 from the field. Almost had an awesome dunk, but he missed it. That's okay. But not so much, like we know Dalen's limitations offensively, but what's great for a guy who can't shoot, for a combo guard, small forward who can't shoot, pulling down 5 offensive rebounds with those springs in his feet, and the fact that he is always active when one of his teammates gets a shot up. The Bulls have been a just dreadful offensive rebounding team all season long. They seem disinterested in doing it, other than the occasional Vooch tap out. Dalen Terry, man, he flies around the court, and in addition to just making plays with his activity and his frenetic energy, how about those offensive rebounds tonight, Dave?
Yeah, no, that was a real awesome part of it. And not just the offensive rebounds, the tip outs also that he was getting there among the trees and tipping that ball out and getting the Bulls extra possessions. He got the Bulls at least 4 extra possessions tonight just by being active. That steal that he got, and getting them an extra possession that way. Like he did that also too. Like he was everywhere, man. Like 13, like you said, 13, 7, and 6 off the bench as a rookie, and you don't play a lot is really good. And 13 for a rookie, for a guy who can't shoot and then gets no free throws and still drops you 13 points is also really, really good. I'm gonna give him credit for having a layup package. I didn't realize he had a layup package like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he could really finish at the rim really well. Of course, we know there's no fear in him when he's doing anything. I saw him join with Javon Carter, you know what I'm saying, in the fourth quarter, having little words with him and everything, man. Like, and the first thing I said to myself was, oh, man, dude, I cannot wait until him and Grayson Allen get into it and have that, match together when they're talking shit to each other. But I'm trying to find one of my friends said something about Dalen Terry that was just one of those dead on things that was pretty hilarious. He said a player with that much energy, it's my boy Dre, a player with that much energy next to so many apathetic guys looks like the goddamn sun. That is the truth and the light right there. Like you're just amazed by it because you don't have it and nobody had it on the team. I just sat there and talked about Zach not wanting to play tonight, not wanting to do anything tonight, and the low energy and low effort the Bulls have had for basically half the season. So when you got a guy coming out there, giving you that energy and actually, trying to give the team confidence and belief and things like that. And then on top of that, being in the plus column and giving you 13, 7, and 6 and being solid defensively, that's really solid for a rookie.
Yeah, definitely, Dave. And I think in that regard, like he's a mini Javonte. Like it's just palpable how much more energy this dude has than so many other guys, and that's what makes Javonte so impactful. What makes Caruso so impactful? Obviously, when Lonzo was getting around, the fact that they have so much activity in every movement that they seemingly doing, whether it's on offense or defense, like it jumps out of the screen. And like I'm on the other side of the world and I can feel like his activity from this side of the planet. So it is very stark. And I think your mate there, what was his name? Dre? Whatever
Dre,
his name
according
was.
To sources, yes. My man,
right.
follow him according to sources.
He's dead on. He's dead on. Like it. I mean, you would probably pick up on this, like whatever team Dalen was on, he would always bring this energy. You'd be able to pick up on that energy regardless, but specifically on this team where they do look lifeless at time, it is very palpable. But I like the fact that he had his 6 assists tonight. And there was one play where I think just generally his recognition in moving the ball around was really impressive. And there was a play tonight where he got the ball in the corner. I think Zach gave him the ball in the corner. And Vooch had just deep sealed whoever was guarding him under the rim. And rather than take the jumper, which probably was going to miss because we know Dalen's not the greatest shooter at this point. But what he did was he understood and recognized that Vooch was open, and he threw that ball into him, and Vooch got that easy score. So I actually liked his floor game a lot tonight as well, his passing shots. So, really good game from Dalen tonight.
when you see a young player like that with, as Dave was saying, that level of energy that's so noticeable compared to his teammates, and people in our comments, and I saw people on Bulls Twitter tonight just yelling and wondering what the heck. Why hasn't this guy been getting any minutes all season long? How has he not been getting any minutes? And Mark, I know I saw you had a couple of tweets, and partly maybe as your title is the Billy Donovan defender among Bulls Nation, but I thought you raised a good point, which is like when this team was mostly healthy, which they have been mostly healthy all season up until recently, when Caruso takes a hit, Derrick Jones Jr. takes a hit, DeMar's beat up. On top of Javonte being out for a while now, when they were mostly healthy all season long, like whose minutes were he taking? Like that, I think that's a fair question and a fair counter to those Bulls fans who are saying, how the hell was Billy not playing this kid? Which minutes was he supposed to be getting?
Yeah, and look, that was in response to a few things that popped up on my timeline about, like, Dalen had a couple good possessions and people were talking about, like, why is this guy not been playing? Why has he not been playing? And blaming it on coaching and those sorts of things. And I get it. I get the sentiment. Everyone's annoyed. Everyone's angry at the Bulls right now. Dalen is cool. Dalen is new. He's doing cool stuff. We like that and we enjoy that. But I just hate when people raise problems without providing solutions. Like, that's always something that shits me to tears for whatever reason. I don't know why it is, but it bothers me. But, like, this is a team that's built around two wings. Like, Zach and DeMar are going to get the bulk of the minutes at the wing. Then you've also got Caruso, who's obviously going to play a lot when he's going to close games. Kobe, we've talked about a lot on this podcast this year. The development he's had. He's been really good this season. And maybe not recently, but Dragic towards the start of the season was really, really strong as well and impactful. And we know Aya was sort of the inexperienced guy running the point guard position. So I just don't get the reason why people are mad at Billy for not playing Dalen Terry, when to me it's more of a roster thing. Like, I've got no issues with Dalen getting minutes or being in the rotation. I just don't understand where that should have been coming from. So that's my issue with it. I understand that, again, I am defending Billy Donovan, which is going to make people mad. But like I said, I just don't think it's a coaching thing. I think it's okay. If we wanted Dalen to play, then don't sign Dragic or trade Caruso at the trade deadline. That way Dalen gets more minutes, or whatever the situation may, like, traded Kobe earlier on, or whatever the scenario might have been. But, like, there's just guys in front of him in the rotation that should have been in the rotation in front of him, but maybe they're not at the moment, obviously, given the injuries. So to me, it's more of a roster thing than a coaching thing. But when he's been given opportunities like he was tonight, he's played really well. And like when he does play well, we're going to say as much. So, shout out to Dalen, who was probably their best player tonight.
Wow. For me, Marquet, I think you're dead on, actually. Let me say that. I think you're absolutely right. I don't want to absolve the front office from, any misgivings and misdoings of, what they put together. But I'm not going to absolve Billy either. For me, you have to also know, you also have to have your finger on the pulse of your team if you're the coach. And you've got to know what your team kind of needs. And like you just said, you could feel Dalen's energy from across the world. You could feel the Bulls needed something like that months ago.
Yeah.
Even when guys were healthy, even when guys were out there, the Bulls needed something. They needed something, some kind of pick-me-up, some kind of quick shot. And I'm not advocating for Dalen to get 15 minutes a night. That's not what I'm advocating for. But I am advocating for him to have spot minutes and knowing when you're supposed to have that time to put him in. Be like, you know what? Get in the game right now. Give me these quick few minutes right here. Give me this energy that you got. Get this crowd hype. Boom. Okay. Thank you very much. Go sit down. But you have to find that, because you can't have that kind of response of a player on your team to something that you're really lacking and not play that. That I put on Billy, because you have to know your team to that point of what they really truly need. It's different than three-point shooter. He can't look down the bench and say, here goes a three-point shooter. That's complete roster construction. He can't do that. He can't look down there and say that. But you can look down there and feel if your team needs some energy and some heart and something, to get them going. You can feel that, and you can look down your bench and say, hey, Derrick Jones Jr., I'm going to give him 2 of your minutes. Hey, Javonte Green, I'm going to give him a couple of yours. Hey, like, for me, only 3 people are guaranteed minutes on this team, and that's your stars. Like, for me, that's how I look at it. Those are the only ones where I'm like, yeah, you're playing for sure. I don't care what's going on. And maybe Caruso as well. But those guys, yeah, you're playing. Everybody else, I can play with your minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lose sleep over certain guys not getting minutes and giving Dalen Terry a quick blow out there to see if he can get some energy going for the team. So in that sense, I was not happy with Billy Donovan not giving him that opportunity early on. Now, as far as everybody wanting him to play 15, I'm with you on that. I'm not advocating for that. I'm like, he's still a rookie. He's still raw. But the energy of what he brings, you felt that the Bulls needed that. We felt it for a long time. And I just wanted to see him get in there.
I definitely don't disagree that this team needs energy, but I guess from my point of view, like where they do get that energy is Derrick Jones Jr. and from Javonte and from Caruso. So like those are the guys that Dalen is competing with minutes for. And I just would never take those guys out for Dalen in this situation, particularly when the goal of this season, whether we agree with it or not, like the goal of this season is to make the playoffs. That's clearly what AK and Billy have expressed. And if I'm in that position, I'm leaning on my vets. And I know a lot of people would want to play Dragic above Terry, for example, which I understand. But from a coaching point of view, like they're always going to lean on that veteran point guard sort of thing. So I guess what I would say, Dave, is like if we need energy, we kind of need it from the stars, to be honest with you, because I feel like you're getting it from those role guys that Dalen is competing with, which is why he's maybe not getting into those situations. But it kind of feels like those stars need to be giving you that level of energy. That way you don't have to rely on Javonte or Derrick Jones Jr. or freaking Dalen Terry, a rookie who's barely played basketball. But to your point, like you can't take them out, which leaves you only like sparingly little moments to inject that little energy from. And it's hard to find that balance. And particularly when you've got three guys in there that have to be on the court who aren't going to give you that, then we get to the point where we are now. We're wondering why does a rookie play with so much energy, but your main guys don't? It's frustrating.
Yeah, that's honestly, Marquez, that's just who they have kind of been. You know what I mean? Like I can't really get on. It's hard for me to get on them going. That's just who they've been. It's more so for me knowing that what they're missing, let me put something around them to help that. Like, let me make up for your misgivings and shortcomings. Okay, you don't do that. Okay, I got somebody that can do that real quickly for you. That's it. And again, I'm just talking about real quick, get in there, just a 5-hour energy shot. Give me that and then get on out. You know what I mean? I watched the Bulls do it in the 90s all day long when I would watch Phil Jackson. I watched him do it all the time. I watched Greg Popovich do it all the time when he was just bringing dudes you never even heard of or seen just to inject some energy in your team. That's it. That's all you're looking at. And that's all I'm looking for was just that quick fix and knowing what your team needs at that moment in time.
Yeah, I get it. And look, I think he knows that, but I think it's kind of hard for him to do that at the moment, given that the one time that he did maybe hold a star accountable, it became a massive issue. So he doesn't have the gravitas as a Pop. And to be fair, like Pop had a guy like Tim Duncan who wouldn't give a shit about that, whereas that's seemingly not the case in Chicago. So look, it is what it is. It's tough, but I like I said, I'm not against Dalen playing. I just don't think it's necessarily on coaching. I think it's more of a roster construction issue. But if I'm on the minority on that, then that's cool. I'm happy to be. But I get your point. I mean, we certainly agree. This team needs more energy, and a guy like Dalen brings it. So I've got no issues with that.
Yeah, need a lot more everything. You're right.
Well, I suppose we can round out our Dalen chat for the evening with our announcement that he is, in fact, for the first time in his career, our DraftKings king of the game.
Look at him.
King of the game. Career high 13 off the bench in 27 minutes. Pulled down 7 boards. Most of that, as we discussed, on the offensive glass, which was huge, creating second chance opportunities for the Bulls. Also, as Mark mentioned, those 6 assists, finding ways to facilitate and get good looks for his teammates on the offensive end. Playing 110-mile-an-hour defense, as we have come to expect from that young man. Absolutely love it. He is your DraftKings king of the game. As always, the reminder is there. New users with that DraftKings Sportsbook app can make a $5 bet on any NBA game and get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you sign up with promo code CHGO. There are also, of course, those DraftKings no sweat same game parlays. Could have made one on this game tonight, and if it didn't hit, no worries, because you get a bonus bet back. That is risk-free parlay action. I wonder how many Bulls fans picked them to win this because of the TNT streak and the pretty good odds. To those of you, I offer my condolences, but there's always another NBA game to throw some action on. Maybe make an in-game bet on the late-night game that's going on TNT right now. Tune into that after we wrap up here on Postgame. Either way, do it with DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. One more time, don't forget that promo code CHGO for that amazing $5 bet offer to get $200 in free bonus bets instantly, only with promo code CHGO. Shout out to Dalen Terry, our DraftKings king of the game. Yes. Young Joseph, I believe I've seen some super chats roll through. Shall we knock those out? What are the people saying out there in Bull Nation? Maddie Rice with a $4.99 super chat saying, of the big three, Vooch, DeMar, LaVine, which one are you most and least willing to move on from? I say get rid of all of them, but what do I know?
Oh, man. What am I
I don't know. Before I answer that, I feel like we have to make Matty Rice answer if he had to get rid of one kind of rice. Which rice would he get rid of, and which rice would he keep? I assume Matty Rice is a big fan of rice. I mean, tough questions are tough questions. They have tough answers.
That's a tough one, man. Honestly,
it's Zach. Come on, like the answer's Zach. Let's not beat around the bush.
You're saying who you're most
and least willing to move on from. So you're saying most willing to move on from is Zach?
Willing to get rid of for me.
That's why it's hard for least. Like, who's the least though?
DeMar.
DeMar's the least. Okay.
I'm going this purely based on my feeling toward them at the moment, more generally. But like, I guess like from a Zach point of view, based on the reporting that was at the trade deadline, like clearly you can get some stuff for Zach, whether that's first round picks, whether that's players. There was someone in the comments here trashing us about the fact that we like Zach and wanted to re-sign Zach. And everyone that says that sounds even dumber now, knowing that we know for a fact you can move Zach LaVine for multiple players and multiple picks, a thing you can't do if you had let him walk in the offseason, you absolute dopes. So we know now that you can get that back for Zach LaVine. So from that standpoint, I would move Zach. I would start the retool. I would start the rebuild, whatever you want to call it, semantics, all that sort of stuff. For me, I'd be seriously looking at trading Zach in the offseason, get the haul that you can get, and start retooling. Now, whether you keep Vooch and DeMar and run that out for one season, whatever it might be, do your thing, whatever you want to do, okay. But I think it's time at this point to probably move on from Zach, because like another thing that's been said is like Zach can be the guy to lead the franchise beyond this iteration with DeMar and Vooch. But like, I'm like, we've clearly seen enough of Zach to know he's not a number one guy on a franchise. I wanted to see this experiment play out because it was not just him, it was him and two other guys. It clearly hasn't worked. So like, why would you try to build around Zach, Pat, Io, whatever it might be? Let's just start fresh at that point and kick the rebuild off that way. So Zach is my answer to Matty Rice from that perspective.
The hesitation for me was because I was thinking of Vooch's contract. And if he decides to go, I'm like, well, should I do a sign and trade and get him out of here? Would that be the easiest thing to do? So that's why I was wondering about Vooch. But I think your answer is right. I think, Zach is the one because you get the haul. And DeMar is still DeMar DeRozan. He's in the All-Star game, for God's sakes. Yes, he's still DeMar DeRozan. So, I agree with that. No time. Quaffed it. He's quaffed it. Quaffed it. There he is, ladies and gents.
Can't hear Matthew Peck for some reason.
We can't hear you, Matthew Peck.
Can't hear you, Matt.
We can't hear the dulcet tones of young Peck, but we still have the quaffness of that young man, Will Gottlieb. You can follow him at Will_Gottlieb. How are you, sir?
That's Will Gottlieb to you. I'm doing well, man. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful, sir. I know you're very happy that being at this All-Star break after watching this team tonight. I'm very happy for you to get there, sir. But since you were there, we might as well discuss what actually was going on. We started off talking about Zach LaVine, and just his play just looked like he already purchased his tickets, and he can't wait to get to the island. So what did you see from Zach LaVine tonight, man? Did you get that kind of same vibe that he just wasn't all there?
Well, he definitely, I don't know if he purchased a ticket or the plane itself, but he is definitely headed somewhere warm, somewhere not Utah, and somewhere not Chicago, which is probably for the best. He probably needs a break and a recharge as much as anybody else. But yeah, I mean, when you're missing DeMar and the Bucks are as good as they are defensively, he just is going to have to force some stuff. And like we know what happens at this point with the Zach LaVine experience when he's forcing stuff. Kind of just got that in a nutshell today. He got to the line a bunch. I did appreciate the fact that he was putting his head down and getting to the rim, because otherwise there was like no like offensive generation whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, overall, not such a great game. Basically, everybody, I think, had just kind of given up on that one. I mean, Giannis left early. Middleton didn't play. Bobby Portis was out. Pat Connaughton was out. Derek Jones, Caruso, like all these guys were out. And it was just kind of like not even a real game.
William, Billy was asked in the post game about the goal of the season beyond the All-Star break, and he was asked pointedly, is the goal still the playoffs? Is that goal remain? He said very, very clearly that it is. My question to you is: Did other media members in that meeting room, once he said that, did you guys just laugh at him, or did you take that seriously?
Damn.
I mean, whether they achieve their goal or not is a separate question, but they're definitely still trying to make the playoffs. I mean, that is the goal. I was looking at it today. They're now obviously outside the play-in, but they're 2 games away from the 10th seed, and they're also 2 games away from the 13th seed. And the Pacers and the Magic both have tiebreakers over them. So there's still a world where this gets worse, believe it or not. But you have to believe they're going to be one of the teams that's left trying towards the end of the year. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be wins, but like they're still going to be working towards figuring it out. I think they have a pretty good idea of the things that they need to fix and adjust. But to be fair, like those are some of the same things that they've been trying to figure out for over a year now. So TBD on whether that will actually happen. But I do think that this game was kind of a throwaway just with all the injuries, but I don't think they're ready to like throw up the white flag yet. But I did kind of laugh under my breath.
Okay. Go ahead, Matt. You got one?
Well, I mean, I was just going to say, Will, depending on how you look at things, the fact that they only now are just barely ahead of those Orlando and Indy teams that don't own the tiebreakers against them, maybe that's a good thing. If what the Bulls are looking at now is the best possible chance of keeping that top 4 protected pick. I mean, I know that the Bulls brass would never come out and openly say that that's okay. Well, after the trade deadline, amidst this crazy losing streak, we're shifting our focus. We're going to play the young guys. We're going to tank our way to the bottom as best we can. Do you personally think it would be in their best interest to do that now, though? Try to leap Indy and Orlando in the standings the other direction, given how broken this team appears to be?
So I was kind of advocating for that when they were, after the Minnesota game, when they were 11-18, 7 games under 500, and there was still so much season left. Right now, they're 7 games under 500, matching a season worst, but there aren't enough games left for them to really be competitive there. They could get down to 5 if they really tried. But again, teams like, the Pacers and the Magic and, whoever else are going to be trying to get down there too. So it's not like they've got a clear avenue that way either. But I just think that they built this team to try to win. That's why they got these guys. That's why they put it together. That's why they traded future draft picks. I think that's what they're going to do. If things keep going the way that they have, they might end up there by accident, in which case maybe they have a better shot and they still have, a decent roster left over. But to me, there's going to have to be changes to the personnel this summer, because clearly things are not working. Clearly the same problems that we've been talking about since last year. I mean, right when we our first show, we were talking about how the Bucks hit a 3 in the first quarter and it went on an 8-0 run. And that was, and I brought it up a million times, that just ended the game with 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. And like, they're still trying to figure out how to stop momentum, how to stop runs, how to turn off the faucet. And they can't figure it out. And I don't know if that's like a thing that is this difficult to figure out for most teams, or if it's something about this locker room or who these like this kind of combination of players or what. But like, you're not going to win very many games if you can't withstand a run. I mean, that happens in the game of basketball every game. It happens multiple times a game. And they just keep, I mean, Zach said it after the game, like, we've shown we can beat anybody. We've also shown that anybody can beat us. And that's why, because they just don't know how to play basketball with a lead, which is like a crazy thing. It's a crazy concept.
Yeah. Will, obviously tonight the talk of the town was Dalen Terry in his game. One, did you get a chance to speak with him after the game? And two, just what did you feel about his overall performance tonight?
Yeah, love the effort. He is somebody that clearly wants to make the hustle plays. And like, you have Caruso, you have guys like Javonte and Derek Jones and stuff like that. But I think there's like a different energy with Dalen that is more sort of about finding loose balls and getting deflections. I know Javonte and Caruso are really good at that, but I think you can kind of lump Dalen in there. 5 offensive rebounds was awesome. And obviously he sort of padded his stats a little bit in garbage time. But I thought generally, like, the impact that he made throughout the course of the game was pretty positive for that being like his second game getting real rotation minutes. So we'll see what happens in the stretch run here. Like, guys are going to come back from injury. Derek Jones won't be out for the whole year. We'll see what happens with Javonte. DeMar will obviously be back. And those are all forward minutes. I saw Mark tweeting about it. Like, there's a lot of guys who fill that 2, 3, 4 wing role. And Dalen's got to beat those guys out is essentially what it's going to have to be. Or the Bulls are going to have to say, let's just do the youth movement thing. So I think he's shown that he can play ball. I think there's still a lot of room for him to grow. And I think it's good that he's starting to have some of that room for development on the NBA floor. But I'm not sure we'll continue to see, especially like going back to what we just said of the Bulls, like really trying to make a push here. I don't think they're just going to sacrifice, their more sure thing minutes with Javonte or Derek Jones when you have Dalen, who's kind of a question mark.
Will, appreciate you hopping on postgame for a few minutes, buddy. We'll let you get back to your writing. Everybody, make sure you're following Will on Twitter if you aren't already. Will_Gottlieb. He is the GOAT. Make sure you're reading everything that man writes for us at allchgo.com. He and Mark are going to have an HQ for you guys tomorrow. And then Will is heading out to Utah, Salt Lake City. He's going to check out All-Star Weekend. DeMar will be there, as will our guy, Ayo Dosunmu, who was named as an injury replacement to that Rising Stars game. So, took an injury replacement opportunity, but Ayo's 2 for 2 in his first 2 years, making that All-Star Rising Stars game. Joey, before we get out of here, let's get to a couple quick super chats, shall we? We got Schwo, who said cancel the season. TNT Bulls is all we had left. There's no effort, no intelligence. Players killed the TNT Bulls. Chicago Bulls? No, Chunkago Balls. Wow. I assume that's the reference to that knockoff MJ figurine.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't Schwo Will's mate? Am I wrong?
It is. Yeah. Schwo's our guy. We had a good time with him in Vegas last summer. Who said also in a super chat, at least Zach Wilson sleeps with moms. Our Zach sucks.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn,
wow.
Wow, bro.
Wow. I mean, Zach's not doing too shabby. That man is happily married. He and his wife have a baby boy. I think Zach is perfectly fine with his off-the-court personal life.
I'm about to say he's not going to the island by himself. He's all right. He's okay.
No. McBaconator with lots of laughs. I believe I've said enough. DT though. Yep. Dalen Terry indeed. Wait, what was that other one about the goat's hair? I'm consistently amazed at how Thrill Gottlieb's hair outperforms this Bulls team on a night in, night out basis. This man deserves a statue next to MJ. All right, well, let's pump the brakes. Now, if Will ends up working this Bulls beat for years and decades to come, and his hair remains that perfectly coiffed, then we can talk about a statue.
Yeah.
But if there's anyone in the Bulls, if there's anyone related to Bulls media and Bulls broadcasting that deserves a statue for their hair, it's our guy, Mark freaking Janowski, okay?
Damn right.
The best head of hair in broadcasting. Mark, shout out to you. We love you, man. Yes. We have so many Marks that we love in our life. But, I mean, sorry, Mark A. Mark Janowski is the hair goat.
Yes, he is.
Hey, I know where I stand. And it's cool. It's cool. I'm a realist. I'm a realist.
We got the Duke. Shout out. Regular super chat contributor. Appreciate you, the Duke, who said one of the most stacked, top-heavy draft classes in history. The Bulls are going to win nothing but play themselves out of a top draft pick. Great plan, Bulls. It's kind of hard to see it going differently than that. It really is.
In the offseason. Honestly, the offseason is going to be so amazing and very, very telling because I just want to see what's on the table because they can get back into that draft just having, a guy like Zach LaVine, if they're putting him on the trading block and things like that. They can't get back to the draft that way. So, yeah, it's just going to be so interesting of an offseason, man. I swear.
Shout out to the Jelly with a super chat who said a super chat is needed for the cosmic slop, Dave. Respect.
Yo, he sees the album I have back
I assume he's talking about the album cover you just put up. Yeah.
No, he sees it back here. That's Funkadelic. He sees Funkadelic back there. And yes, he's representing the cosmic slop. Man, I'm gonna get you in some Parliament Funkadelic because you like funk bands and you like rock bands. Funk. I'm gonna show you who originated it and who started and where everybody got their shit from. It's Parliament Funkadelic who they got it from. You're gonna love them, I promise. I got you. I'm
always here to learn from you, buddy. Always here to learn. Eco being fingers crossed with a ping pong balls to bounce the Bulls' way. Yeah, because that usually works. Works a couple of times, most often not. All right, let's get out of here. One more reminder. Mention it. What?
Before we go, I got to do one more thing.
Go ahead.
One more thing. I got to tell them about Chicago because they got the best coverage of their favorite team. So get fitted out in the best sports gear around. That is FOCO. They got you covered from Soldier Field, the living room, the north side to the south side with hoodies, slippers, signs, bobbleheads, and everything in between. You get decked out like DeMar with apparel from the leader in sports and merch collectibles. That is FOCO for people looking for that perfect gift for that football fan in their life. Make sure you go grab one of those hoodies to fight that Lake Michigan breeze. You get that at FOCO. Check out FOCO.com or click the link in the description below for all non-presale items. Use the promo code CHGO and get yourself 10% off. That is FOCO. Faux show.
Boom. Shout out to FOCO. We're going to have an HQ for you guys tomorrow, Mark and the GOAT, bookending All-Star Weekend with HQ stuff. Friday episode, Monday episode. Hope everybody enjoys All-Star Weekend. If you're here in Chicago, stay safe. That crazy-ass icy rain, snow stuff was coming down. If you're on the roads, drive carefully. Have a great weekend. Dave and I are off for a few days. Uncle Matt's heading out of Texas to forget the Bulls exist for a few days. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Tonight.
I have been ready for this All-Star Weekend, you guys. I have been freaking ready.
RK, you got some plans for the All-Star Weekend?
Well, I'm just trying to work out what the hell I'm going to talk about tomorrow, to be honest with you. I'm sweating bullets. I'm like, what am I going to talk about
tomorrow? About Dalen Terry.
Maybe.
Malcolm
but, being serious for a moment, like, I'm just thankful to have you guys because being a Bulls fan without you guys would be so much more darker right now. The fact that we can get on here and just shoot the shit and just be goofballs about this terrible situation that the Bulls are ultimately in, and that we've made light of certain things, but the fact that we've found positives, I think, and we've tried to make this a bit of fun. Like, I appreciate you guys for letting me jump on, but more generally as well with the people listening, as well as the people in the YouTube comments, even those that are trashing me for my Billy takes. I appreciate everyone making this season still fun. Like, the Bulls have not been good this year. They've been extremely difficult to watch at times. But every single time I've enjoyed coming on into this show, either as a podcaster or as someone watching you guys. And just, I love conversing with this community, with this fan base, everyone that supports the CHGO. So I just wanted to say that before we head off to All-Star break, and before I probably won't get a chance to speak to you guys for at least another week. So I just wanted to send some love because despite the Bulls being painful, our friends here that support us at CHGO, they're very good to us. So shout out to everyone.
Shout out, man.
Well said, man. Well said. Bulls Nation is strong. We're opinionated. Well, oftentimes we have differing opinions, but it's amazing to have platforms like this to engage with our fellow Bulls fans. Sometimes it's engaging in happiness. And times like these, it's engaging in communal misery, but it's still a community. And I think it always helps, like you said, Mark, to have fellow Bulls fans to do that with, because it's a hell of a lot better than being sad alone. Because sad and alone is never good. It's better to be sad together.
Yes.
Y'all have a great weekend. You two gentlemen have a great weekend. Bulls Nation have a great weekend. And we will talk to you sometime. Well, Mark will talk to you tomorrow, as we will. And we'll talk to you next week. Appreciate you, Bulls Nation. Hit that thumbs up before you head out. If you haven't already, subscribe to CHGO Sports on YouTube. Until next time. Tune up, see red, be good. EJ and Rory, Uncle Matt's on his way.
Peace.